Hello everybody, welcome back to the stream. It is I, DIGI Driver, welcoming you to your Saturday, April 27th, 2024, unless you're in a different part of the world, in which case it could already be Sunday, in which case, happy Sunday to you. Welcome back, friends. We are back in Microsoft Flight Simulator. I decided I wanted to fly to places that I haven't been to or don't regularly visit. One of the more prominent destinations that I have not taken time to spend much airtime in is South Africa. So I'm going to do a bit of a regional op. We're going to fly from Cape Town to Port Elizabeth. So that's Foxtrot Alpha Charlie Tango to Foxtrot Alpha Papa Echo. It's still a ways away from East London, so it's not what you would call a coast-to-coast flight, but at the same time, both those destinations that I'm flying out of and to are in the on the bottom, just literally the heel, if you could call it the heel of Africa. So we're dealing with coastlines, we're dealing with regional ops, and I'm going to see what I can fly. I'm most likely going to be flying Orbit Airlines for my op this afternoon, and we'll see what winds up happening. We'll see if I do any other flights or if I jump into a different sim this afternoon. Also, one thought crossed my mind. I haven't bothered hopping back into the Cockspur Phenom 100 for a while now. So I'm very interested to do that. I was thinking about doing that, and I was going to pick an airliner to fly for today's flight, but legitimately, I think I'm going to use the Phenom and keep this biz jetty and enjoy the flight today. Turns out the Phenom 100 is a very nice business jet to fly with the gamepad, and that's exactly what I intend to do this afternoon. Give me just a moment to make sure my screens are set. They should be now. And I am, as you can probably see, in 1080p. I'm no longer downscaling my resolution now that I have discovered that with the proper adjustments, I can do 1080p and provide a pretty smooth experience for you guys. I'm very happy to do that. And there are some things that I don't need to have configured to high or even medium settings anymore, which don't detract from my experience flying a plane. Now, I will not be flying in real time because, as you can tell, it is nighttime down here, but I am going to be flying with real weather, and hopefully the weather is acceptable. Let me see what I can do. I think I'm going to depart from one of these ramps, and I'm not sure if these are just general aviation ramps. Admittedly, I don't have much knowledge of the airport, but we're going to go ahead and enjoy some time here anyway. I'm going to say probably one of these spots back here should be good enough for a departure. And today I'm going to be November 820 Romeo Bravo. At some point, I'm probably going to start flying the 414 again as well. And it looks like live conditions are good for weather. Let's go ahead and scroll this up to an early morning departure the following day. I don't have real-time traffic, but I do have multiplayer. So, if you want to join me for a flight, I should be on East USA server, and I'm flying to Port Elizabeth. I'll figure out the flight plan, but I'm fairly confident it's going to be something relatively non-complex, unless the approach is into Port Elizabeth are different than what I expect. I was thinking about doing a VATSIM flight today. I'll probably do a VATSIM flight at some point again on stream. Just just not today. So let's get started. Good afternoon again to everybody. I hope you're having a very good Saturday and a great weekend. I am going to set up for the flight, take off, and get going, and then we'll catch up and we'll see how things have been. As long as things go smoothly, I'm probably going to be also doing some trucking or a second flight. We'll see what happens. I think I have my flashlight on and everything else is off. So before I do anything, let's go ahead and grab our equipment setup. Let's get chocks in, and we'll start with the covers on and set up the control lock. We can take that off. It doesn't have to be on. And we'll get the GPU plugged in so that we can get some power. This is a plane that I've flown with many times in FSX and P3D, so I feel comfortable with it. I feel comfortable flying it. And I think once I get the lighting up in here, I shouldn't have to do much. Does this? Yes, it does. Overhead lighting rocks. All right, we'll get the nav lights on. We'll get the panel lighting all the way up. It is an early morning departure. And we'll get upwash up in the cabin. That should be enough. Let's go ahead and get ourselves set up for departure. But before I do anything else, let me just make sure the cabin is ready to go. I don't know if we have anybody flying with us today, but let's take a look at our weights and measures. 50% fuel. I like to fly with no less than, like, say 75 or 80% fuel, although I'm pretty sure we're not going to be using all of it for this flight. The block time is basically about an hour and a half. Payload, we will take ourselves up to 85%, and that means we're going to be a bit portly on departure. I'd expect a little bit of gravity resistance, so to speak, and let's get ourselves prepped. We do have passengers with us today, and we're going to go ahead and get ourselves out of here. All right. Oxygen restored, supply control packs auto. Bus ties we're going to set to auto. At least that's what it should be set to. Looks like it to me. That's open, that's auto. We'll get the batteries turned on, and we will get the gens on as well. At least that's how I did it with the old Coronado. We probably don't even need gens on until we get close to turning on the engines, but easy for me to do, and I don't forget this way. We'll get the pumps set to auto. I think pumps to auto should be the way we go. And now the ELT is armed. Hydraulic pump to auto, ADS AOA to auto. Fuel transfer is not on. Now it is. Let me see. Fuel transfer, there we go, that's turned off. I think I'm going to keep this on during the startup procedure just in case I goof anything up. Window heats to on, and ice protection might not be an issue if weather holds out. Let's do engine ignitions to auto. That should be enough for our startup process. Bleed to both, I think, should be fine. Let's see. Is that the way it is right now? That's off. That's one. Bleed both is good. And since I'm taking a look at the middle, pressurization mode auto, that should be fine. And I think we're okay. I just need to make sure that we are set with our flight plan. And again, nothing fancy, nothing on VATSIM or any multiplayer network other than MSFS. We're going to get started with our flight planning now. Active flight plan, and there we go. I just have to push it. So we'll set up for Foxtrot Alpha Charlie Tango. And I took a look at the METAR on VATSPY. We are going to be departing to the south. I don't know the layout of the airport, so maybe I should check that first. What I can do is probably get my flight plan set, and then I can actually get going. I didn't actually fill out my SimBrief flight plan, so I apologize in advance. But it does look like it's chosen runway 19er for me, so we'll take that. And let's go ahead and generate a flight. This looks like a relatively straight flight plan, so it's not going to be anything particularly curvy unless we're talking about approaches. Big shout out to Coxper dev team. I was flying this last night, doing a flight from Indy exec to Chicago executive, and I basically filled out the flight plan kind of while I was, well, no, I think I did it in flight. I forget. And then I had to do a teardrop approach into Chicago executive because I came in even over the airport at about maybe 12, 14,000 feet. But the computer hooked into the teardrop approach for the southern runway perfectly, and it was just a great flight overall. I'm serious, guys. I can't stop talking enough about this plane and how much fun I've had with it since I bought it. This has to be hands down one of the biggest value props in all of the flight sim add-on aircraft as you can buy for Microsoft Flight Simulator directly from a manufacturer, directly from the dev team. I bought the 736 from PMDG, and the Coxper Phenom 100 basically just is a better value prop. There's so much airplane you get for so little cash. If you have not picked up this aircraft and you want to try flying the Phenom 100, I highly recommend it. I can't recommend it enough. So I have the flight plan and I'm wondering if I can actually import it. Let me do this. Let me check and see if I can actually get this to work. Flight plan catalog. It's not a flight plan catalog per se. It isn't, but let me see. Do we have oh, wait, no. Stop. There's got to be a screen that I'm not paying attention to. Charts, active flight plan to view previous page. Hey, one of my cats stopped by to say hello. Let's take a look at map options. That's traffic, that's a legend. Oh, he wants to be a line captain today. I see. Hopping on my desk. We've got an extra degree of difficulty today, chat. So I have charts. Okay. It's probably something that I'm forgetting to do. Do we have a menu? We can invert a flight plan. We can delete a flight plan. And can we actually... No. Activate leg cursor knob to return to base page. Oh, there we go. So I can push that button. I see. So it's all right. It's all right. I don't see a way to easily import the flight plan. That's got to be something that I'm doing wrong. If it's an option, then I must be doing it incorrectly. So I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to go ahead and punch in the airport and then use the systems to get going. So give me a moment, friends. And cool. All right, let me get the destination punched in. That's Foxtrot Alpha. There we go. There we go. No, wait, wait. Why is that not working? That's weird. Is it because my... Okay, that's better. That's better. Foxtrot Alpha Papa Echo. And that is Port Elizabeth. You know what? That's not that far off the map. That's not that far off the map. I think we're good. I think we're good, friends. And what is the METAR? The last time I checked, they were landing to the east. So I am going to pick an east-facing runway 08. There we go. Now, an airport like Cape Town probably has to have a departure of some kind. So let's take a look. Let's take a look. Okay, IMSO. I want something that's going to take me to the east. There we go. Thank you very much, computer. Probably the Octi 1 Bravo departure is what I want. We'll choose it. Is that what SimBrief gave me? That's the better question. It is. I just guessed it. We'll take that. And what about the arrival for Port Elizabeth? There does not appear to be one, and it looks like it's going to be a straight-in approach. So let's select the approach for Port Elizabeth. We can take the ILS for runway 08, and we can take the Papa Echo Victor VOR, but I'm just going to give myself vectors, and if the weather's good at Port Elizabeth, like I thought it was, then we shouldn't have a problem flying there with radio altimeter. In fact, it is. It's cab okay. So temperature's 18, dew point's 14. QNH is 1021. So that's not going to be a problem. We're going to go with radio altimeter for today's flight. And we're going to take 200 feet unless the approach says otherwise. So how can we tell if the approach says otherwise? By simply taking a look at the charts. But I'll do that after I load the plan. And we're going to go to the charts page, I think. Hold on. Nav map, IFR, VFR charts. Oh, okay. So there I am. Like I said, there we go. See, I had a sub. I just didn't bother to. I didn't bother to actually get the flight plan set. So if I reset and I actually requested a flight plan, it's possible that I probably would have found it even now. Actually, let me check. That's my flight plan list. I wonder if that's from SimBrief, but that's okay. Let me take a look at the flight plan as a whole. And there's a discontinuity, I think, between Octet and the rest of the flight plan. So let me see what I can do. No, back in here. There we go. And then we have the approach coming into Port Elizabeth. So between Octet and the approach, there's going to be a lot of waypoints that I'm going to punch in. Okay, so X, U, G, O, L is the next waypoint. Then from there we go to Axamu. And let's see if this one comes up before or after the one I just punched in. Nice. Okay, so just keep going. Uniform Victor, Golf Uniform Kilo. And I don't know if I have Octet on my flight plan. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and say I don't. So let's put Oxhead down here on the bottom. Oops. Backspace, please. Oscar Kilo Sierra Echo Tango. And there we go. Those are the en route waypoints. And if I really wanted to, I could probably set my cruise as well. What did SimBrief give me? SimBrief gave me an initial altitude of 39,000 feet. I did an hour and a half block flight last night, and I think 39,000 feet is too ambitious for this trip. I think 31,000 will provide a much more enjoyable cruise experience. So, assuming 31,000 is reachable by the time I get to Zugol, which is about 14 minutes away from departure or after departure, I think that'll work. That's my departure and that's my climb altitude. I'm going to experiment with VNav and see if it actually thinks it's going to be possible to hit 31,000 feet in roughly 31.6 nautical miles. Actually, could be more, but we'll see. We'll see. I always get my distances confused. So we've got the flight plan. It's fully in the system. Let's go ahead and finish getting ready. And it does look like it's getting lighter and lighter outside. Also, looks like the Cape Town scenery is a little bespoke because that does not look like a standard building to me. That's pretty cool. So, okay, what do I want to do next? Set myself up with a IFR flight code, and I'm going to go ahead and do one of my personal faves. And we will do altitude reporting right now, kind of because I don't care. Actually, hold on. Why is that not choosing it? There we go. Oh, that's interesting. Is it because the plane's not on? A little bizarre. Stand by, chap. We've got the GPU in use, gens and batteries on, bus tie auto, supply control packs auto, and we should be... Yeah, we should be oxygen restored. One more time. Yeah, that's pushed in. So why is my altitude reporting not working? Again, probably something I'm doing wrong. Do we have any procedures for the departure out of South Africa's Cape Town? Initial climb is, does it even say? Initial climb is 9,000 or flight level 090. So let's set it up. $900,000 set. We'll get the flight director turned on and yaw damper engaged. And let's see, what else do we need to do? Departure heading looks like it's going to be... Oh, I don't see that right now. Stand by. It's 191. I tell you what, it's not that fast, but I'm very glad I don't have to keep scrolling the mouse wheel myself. Just one click and it's working for me. So I'm happy. Okay, now we have 190. Actually, it should be 191, so stand by. 191 for the departure heading, and let's see, what else am I missing? I have my departure altitude set. I'm probably going to either do flight level change or just straight up VNav to see what it sets for me. And it's still not doing that. Maybe I need to have my engines running? Probably. So let me do this next. We have the pumps set to auto, so I should probably be able to start my engines up very soon. And let me just make sure the airplane is prepped. Oh, well, for one, I haven't removed my chocks or removed my engine covers, and these engine covers look neat. I like this. They even have my registration on them. That is attention to detail. I'm very happy about that. So we're going to go ahead and remove the chocks, remove the, remove before flight pins, all this good stuff, and we're going to get going. Actually, before we do that, why don't I take a brief tour of the airport? Because this looks like even slightly bespoke scenery, and I want to go ahead and check this out. We have somebody at the airport, but for whatever reason, I can't see their livery, so my apologies to you. But it does look like this airport is slightly better, actually, excuse me, way better than a default airport. Looks like you have parallax for the windows and such inside the terminal. And unfortunately, we also seem to be having issues with our jetways rendering. But to be perfectly honest with you, I don't care right now. I know there's some kind of hit or miss issue that affects being able to render jetways, the default ones in MSFS. And I'm hoping that's definitely an issue that's addressed in FS 2024. But honestly, it's just not something I'm going to even be bothered about today. to, to put it one way, I can't be bothered to be bothered by it. So I'm okay with it. Pretty sure that you won't be able to go into the building, but it does look nice. I will say that much. Overall, this certainly beats not having any kind of design whatsoever, and I'm happy I came down to see it. This is pretty cool. I like it. Even what look like solar parking spaces or something like that. I'm guessing that's what those are there for. And wow, look at the scenery around here. The overall layout of the place. This is beautiful. I'm happy. I'm happy I came here, and I'm definitely happy I chose to do a flight today. So let's go ahead and get back to the aircraft, and let's get started. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and remove the GPU and start the airplane up, which means we're going to take care of some equipment. Parking brake is currently set, so we can get rid of the chocks. Covers will definitely have to come off, and the GPU is now off. And since we have the batteries on, that's good, but at the same time, we gotta go. So let's see. Doors are closed. Main door is closed. Luggage door is closed. Again, double checking. I think we're good. I definitely think we're good. Can confirm doors are closed. Let's go ahead and shut that light off. We're going to be fine. Eliminate the cabin upwash, and we will get going shortly. But before we do that, we'll do a few tests. Annunciator lights.
Fire. 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 Stall. Stall.
Now we should be good to go. So, with no one around and no one to push me back, I'm going to go ahead and fire up the engines, turn myself around, and we're going to get going. This plane has no reverser and has no speed brakes, so I need to be careful, but at the same time, it's kind of fun too. All right, clear engines. We'll start engine number 2. The beacon light on this plane comes on when the first engine is activated, and it comes off when the last one shuts down. let's go ahead and activate engine number 1. Both gens 1 and 2 are hooked up. Let's go ahead and set the CDI for our... that's interesting. Can I do wind? No wind data right now, that's fine. Altimeter units, we're going to use hectopascals down here. Hit the B button since I'm lazy like that. And now I think we should be fine, but hold on. Yeah, a little bit odd. The CDI button isn't working, and I'm wondering if it's because I'm doing something wrong or because a certain setting isn't actually working. That's strange. Okay, I mean, I've flown planes by using the heading bug before. If we don't have GPS, we don't have GPS. The departure will be a little bit sloppy, but that's going to be about it. And it's fixing to be a great day for weather, so I'm not going to worry about it. Hey, Poro to the top coming through. Thank you so much for 4 months, my friend. Glad to have you aboard. Welcome back. We are in South Africa today for a little bit of off the beaten path flight sim streaming. I haven't been here and flown much, so I'm fixing to change that and trying to get some, really interesting destinations in now, at least these days. So I need to taxi. And how am I going to taxi? If you take a look at my chart, I'm probably going to be coming all the way up through Bravo 2 to Alpha 1 and crossing runway 16 to 19er. So Bravo 2, Alpha 1, cross runway 16, Alpha 2. And I can also keep referencing the charts that I have by looking at this, which is superb. So we'll take that. Yeah, I tell you what, Poro, if you have absolutely any interest in business jets that you can fly in MSFS, and MSFS is what you want to fly, you're not going to get a value prop better than the Cockspur Phenom 100. This is, I mean, this was, when I bought it, it was like 29 bucks. I don't know what the price is right now, but go directly to the, I think the Cockspur site and buy it there. I did. The initial release weekend was crazy, but I eventually got my copy. I'm very glad I did. So that's fine by me. Let's go ahead and get going. Was there anything that I forgot to do? I don't think so. About the only thing that I'm having trouble with is getting my CDI to hook up to GPS mode. But again, it's literally not the end, not my biggest concern whatsoever. I can fly this plane by hand if I have to. Can't go wrong with Phenom. I know, it's phenomenal. All right, engines are prepped and we should be able to go. Let's go ahead and just do a quick controls check. Full left and full right. Adictos a las alas, bienvenido, welcome friend. Welcome back. CDI button at the bottom of G1000. Let me try it again. Always possible that it might just decide to work. Yeah, I'm hitting the CDI button, but for some reason it is not switching over. Is it because I failed to type something? Let me check my flight plan. It might be something wrong. No, we should be fine. We should be fine. Yeah, I'm again, Poro, I have no problem with this at all. I'll be happy to fly the plane by hand. I might even fly the plane by hand the whole time anyway, so I'm not going to worry about it. Now, what's my trim? What should I set my trim to? I'm probably going to set my trim to like 7 or 8. Just kind of guessing here since this plane is kind of chunky right now with all these passengers and cargo. Hello and good afternoon. Good to see you, friend. We're flying in South Africa today. So, um, yeah, we just taxi. We'll get ourselves going and we'll be fine. Because the autopilot is on nav. You might be right about that actually. So if it's something that gets resolved once we get up in the air, cool. All right. Parking brakes released. And of course, folks, let me know if the volume is too loud or too quiet. I endeavor to make the experience as enjoyable for you guys as I possibly can. So just let me know what's up. And let's see, just taking a look at my sound levels. The cabin is a bit quiet, but I'm sure the outside is going to be quite loud. Just do a quick test right now. Outside should probably be loud enough for you guys. Now, there is also something I haven't bothered checking. I haven't bothered checking for updates to this plane as well, so that could be my fault. Oh, man. It, you know what? It's something interesting that happened. I didn't really want a Phenom at first. I liked flying the Learjet 45 so much, but basically what happened was as I started to learn VATSIM, what became evident was that I couldn't fly default planes well enough because of the fact that I had to be able to do certain kinds of things, set up waypoints, flash SIDS and stars, and FSX didn't have support for them at the time. I think P3D did. So essentially, the problem was I had to get used to VATSIM on a plane that could do standard instrument departures and arrivals if I wanted to do IFR flight. Now, also, something else that I didn't bother thinking about when I was learning how to be on VATSIM, I didn't take any official training. So, with regards to me making bad decisions, I probably should have learned more about IFR flight before I got started. But sometimes I'm a really quick study, and I figured out a lot along the way. A lot of controllers were very patient with me, and it turned out to be quite an epic fairy tale. But, that's just me. We're going to stroll past the terminal as we taxi on out to runway 19er. And look at that. The sun is already coming up above the hills and mountains. It's a great day. Great day to go flying. Now, I'm in motion. Can I switch to CDI now? Nope, still can't. It it legitimately could just be a bad startup for some weird reason. And I probably will check for updates for this plane if there aren't any. I'm just I'll confess I'm lazy. I generally don't do a lot of checking for certain updates on stuff. It's it's kind of a bother for me, but I do occasionally do check for updates. So again, it's more a question of pilot error or skill issues than anything to do with them. Yeah, yeah, and I almost did this flight on VATSIM since I saw that there was actually coverage in South Africa. But I was just like, you know what? I'm going to take it really chill tonight. It's past 4. I'm just going to enjoy, catch up with you guys, and all that. So I'm happy I'm doing that. No regrets on my part. Eventually, I probably will be doing way more flights on this, or at least I'd like to think I am. I just know past few weeks have been just crazy in terms of work. King Cobra, welcome aboard, my friend. Very good to see you. Glad to see you again. I saw you on an earlier stream. I forget. I just forgot. I think it was like Pookie 84 or something like that that I just met and followed today, and you guys were flying across the Bering Strait to Alaska. It was nice. It was nice. I had a little bit of breakfast, had some cereal, and then sat down with Mrs. Digi. We went over some stuff, and after a quite profitable, a quite what's the word I'm looking for? Quite prodigious early afternoon, I am back in. This is a bespoke version of the South African airport at Cape Town. Right there. Slow it down a bit. It looks nice. Then again, so does the plane. For $0.00, I will take it. Yeah, you certainly were flying around the world. It was definitely quite the trip. So I have my flight director on, and I do have my yaw damper on. Yeah, it's a little weird, not gonna lie, but let me go ahead and look at my departure chart. And IMSUM is not what I'm flying, so hold on. Let me make sure I am set for departure. I'm going to go ahead and stop at the hold short marker, set my parking brake on, and I'm going to just double check that I'm ready to go here. Okay, so I think we are where we want to be for taxi. Right turn onto Alpha 2 and then right onto runway 19er. And I'm going to get my landing lights set right now. Strobe light ready to go. Nav lights on. And what else am I missing? Well, the parking brake is on, that's for sure. Yeah, that's weird. That's really weird. We'll take flaps 1 for departure. And now we should be good to go. I can't press the takeoff config button, but essentially with a runway, as long as I think this one is, flaps 1 should be just fine, even for a slightly loaded aircraft. So that's it. And if we have to, we will fly the departure by hand-ish. I'm going to take a look at the departure. So takeoff down to 145 right after we go wet into the bay. And then once we cross over the bay, we'll go to a heading of what? Let me see. Direct octet. It looks like probably 110 degrees. We'll see. All right. Parking brakes off. All right, we'll cross over one runway. I will resist the temptation to turn right immediately for departure because that is not the departure runway. And I've got both my pets with me. That's beautiful. We'll cross runway 16. No one's coming. Hoof it, DIGI. And we'll be on our way to Port Elizabeth very shortly. Very shortly. Ground roll is what right now? I don't know. Oh, 19 knots. That's fine. Absolutely fine. Actually, we're getting closer to like 30 knots now. Slow it down, Dig. One niner, pretty big runway, and we'll just make sure we're configured and we will power up. And let's go. There we go, folks. Sorry for the wobbliness. Trying to keep it straight and level. 80 knots seen. Gamepad triggers are sensitive. Come on. Come on. Keep it on the middle. That'd be wonderful. Yeah, it's hard to really kind of concentrate on that, so a little all over the place, but Again, I'm flying with the gamepad. Come on up. And up we go. That's a lot better. Positive rate. Gear is going up. Bye. It's going nicely, my friend. A little bit dicey on the runway exit, but that's because I'm flying with the gamepad and not with joystick setup. Because DIGI occasionally is quite lazy. Flaps back to 0. We have flaps up. Let's trim a bit for the departure. I am trimming, and we are doing quite nicely right now. For some reason, my autopilot's not letting me switch CDI, but give me a moment, and we'll hit the VNAV button. No. VNAV, for some reason, isn't kicking in, but flight level change sure is. Unfollowed. Come on, come on. Don't act like you haven't done that before. Come clean. All right, we're going to be going feet wet shortly. So I'm going to go ahead and set my heading bug to 145. And we will fly this departure by hand because sometimes it's a thing. All right, heading bug active. Yeah, that's really weird. That's really weird. Something is not quite clicking in. And I know nav and GPS modes work because I was flying them last night. So either some kind of update in the sim made me not get the functionality, or it's something that I did during the startup. Ooh, that's a good point. Let me do that. So, wait. I don't want to go direct to a waypoint by hand. Let's do this. Let's, can I go direct to Homeboy? I mean, I'm already going there. So let's do activate leg, enter, activate. And we're still in heading mode. Is there something I'm forgetting? Autopilot's engaged. We're in heading mode. Let's take away heading mode. Yeah, no. Wait. Nope, not working. Let's see. I'm going to try it again. Yeah, single, long clicking. Yeah. Something might have happened, or I might have made a bad change, or whatever. So, again, I'm not worried about it at all. I'm having fun. I'm going to turn to 140 to line back up with a flight plan. Yeah, the flight director is not doing anything right now. Also, the really weird thing is that the flight director doesn't want to go away now. I'm wondering if something happened with the a little bizarre. A little. Oh, dude, listen. This is the first. This is really the first time that I've had any kind of issue with it in the months that I've had since I've owned it. And even if this becomes an issue, I can always use it for like more fun GA flying anyway, right? So I'm not even worried about it at all. I'm going to take this airplane all the way up to flight level 310, and even that's going to be a little bit of a stretch for the flight today. So let's go ahead and keep going up. 190 knots is a great way to climb up to altitude relatively quickly. So, again, I'm happy. once we get the altitude set, I'm probably going to shut some lights off or double check the flight deck and clean up. There we go. 310 set. And I tried using VNav, but oh no, wait. Yeah. VNav didn't kick in the way that I expected it to. I'm not even sure if it's working right now. I'm flying with flight level change. If I take flight level change away, yeah, no. We'll keep flight level change, 1 enter 0, and we'll keep climbing. And I can probably reduce power to the climb detent. And now I am, yeah, right in climb. And that's it. We have long since left Cape Town behind, and we are flying. Let's see how far we are off on the flight plan. I can go to probably, let's see, what? 110? 100? I think 110 might be the way to go. Or I can split the difference and go 105 to intercept the magenta line. It's more of a suggestion for today's flight, really, so I'm not worried about it. We are past 13,000 feet. We've got, oh, interesting, low pressure. That's fine. Now we're good. I forgot to turn that back on. Glad I saw that warning. Landing lights off, and that's it. Fuel pumps are pumping. At least they should be. Yeah, they are. So, welcome aboard, everybody, and thanks for coming on over and saying hello. We're flying from Cape Town to Port Elizabeth today. Roughly an hour and a half of block time, and probably about an hour 10 minutes for the flight. I'm enjoying some vistas that I don't normally spend time in, and honestly, it's a nice way to spend a Saturday evening. Now, what I might do once we hit cruise is I might actually go grab some coffee from the kitchen or the galley and come back and catch up. But I'm happy to be sharing time with you guys today. I still haven't decided on whether or not I'm going to do another flight after this one, or if I'm going to go trucking instead. I might do trucking because honestly, I'm kind of feeling it. I'm kind of feeling like jump back into it. And I'm either going to do Euro Truck Sim 2 or I'm going to do American Truck Sim. And frankly, American Truck Sim has really been such an enjoyable experience for me. Although I got to be honest, I'm kind of interested more now in the idea of the coast to coast mod for American Truck Sim than I've ever been before, especially since I saw Chewy94 trying it a few days ago or a few weeks ago. He was in Key West, and I'm like, Key West? That's not a downloadable content scenery that's available right now. But I'm also at least somewhat patient, so I thought about the idea of possibly going and grabbing that mod, but also if I buy Texas and then eventually buy, like, if they ever release Louisiana, like Alabama, Georgia, and like Florida, then I could literally do West Coast to East Coast deliveries and just enjoy that. I once did a long haul in ATS from, I think, Tucson, Arizona, all the way to, I think, Augusta, Washington, or something like that. Right around where the Olympic mountain range is, like on the other side of the bay where Seattle is. And that took 2 literal hours, like 2 real life hours of time. And I think that was like a couple of days worth of game time, or 1 day at least. Turned out to be a very nice trip. And the last few times I did trucking, I really enjoyed it. So I'm probably going to do that this afternoon, unless, of course, I decide to either come on later or come on during the week, do stuff like that. Past 18,000 feet, so we can go standard pressure. Where's my pressure? Standard, or standard barrel. And my altimeter is also here. So there it is, yeah. Yes, yes, there is a private room on this plane, should your needs require it. Um, I liked the Mustang in X-Plane 11. I didn't fly it nearly as much as I should have, but I was happy that I had it, and I think I installed it for X-Plane 12. I just haven't bothered flying it. But news on the horizon. I do intend on doing more X-Plane 12 flying in the not too distant future, since I have managed to successfully install and configure auto ortho. I want to install more regions, and I am going to be installing ortho back on my plate drive, my mechanical drive, but I am probably going to do that a little bit later on. I think there's plenty of things I want to do, plenty of adventures I need to have in terms of life at the moment. So let's just say it's on the back burner, but it is bubbling because I have more than a few planes that I've ported over that I think I want to fly, including the 757, which is one of my favorite planes, even though it memes me because sometimes cabins depressurize. And the Tolas A319, of course, which I haven't flown in a long time. Wow. I've trended towards flying like the 737-800. I don't even have my Zibo installed right now, so maybe I'll change my mind about that soon. But again, yeah, just one step at a time for me right now. I've been working some longer hours of work than normal, than what some folks do. So I'm trying to I'm trying to get myself established and set. It did not take long for us to get up to altitude. Also, I'm way off the line here. So we're going to go back to 120, intercept the line outside of Octid. Actually, I could probably go with an even more aggressive turn in to be close. And what, 135? I'm not going to worry about it at all. Matter of fact, let's try this. Let's do 120. I'm going to try one more thing. And we're going to see if we can go direct to, I think, either Zugol or Aximu. Let's go active to that waypoint. And can I do nav now? No, I can't. Like I said, that's okay. I am really not going to worry about this at all. I like that the flight plan drew a map directly from my nose to the waypoint. So, speaking of nose, there goes my cat. I am well on my way to Port Elizabeth today, and I'm enjoying myself in the sim. Hopefully, you are all having a great afternoon today as well. Let's take a peek outside. Headphones warning, it could get loud. Here we go. Polo to the top, thank you so much for stopping by, my friend. Really appreciate your company. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Until next time. All right. So we are well on our way to cruise, and I want to say I'm probably about set, about set to go grab some coffee from the flight deck. And then we'll think about what else we're going to do on stream today, if we do much. And we'll see what's up. And I've got a little bit of joystick drift in my gamepad, so whatever. We've only got 3,000 more feet to go. I'm going to go ahead and just make sure we hit cruise and get comfy. But yeah, I think I had this plane since February of this year, I think. And I've enjoyed it. I flew it a lot the first few weeks that I was streaming after the purchase. So I'm glad to get back in the plane. It's a nice plane to fly, honestly. As a matter of fact, I flew a different version of this aircraft on the old one of the old world flight tours, probably back in either 2020 or 2021. I forget. I could be wrong, but I definitely enjoyed myself. I know it kind of seems funny to say this, but I'm already looking forward to November and to getting back into the cold season and just getting set to put decorations back up and stuff like that. But I appreciate where I am right now. It's getting warmer. I'm liking having the AC on sometimes, especially after coming in from doing anything involving me being outside. And I'm hopeful, but could potentially be traveling either this summer or early this fall. It depends on plans and what I'm anticipating doing. But at the same time, I am not 100% sure in terms of all this flight planning and logistics and stuff. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I unfortunately will not be attending Flight Sim Expo this year. Unfortunately, Mrs. DIGI and I are trying to get ourselves, financially fit. And as much as the both of us would have wanted to go to Vegas, it was just not working out. So it happens. You make plans, and sometimes those plans work, and sometimes those plans don't work. So I'm not worried about it, and I'm not even upset. It's the kind of thing, it happens. We have to do the best we can what we're given. But I'm hopeful that I get to spend some time, on vacay with her and potentially even see a few friends. So we'll see what happens. We're in climb and we're slowly increasing our airspeed. I think I might have a few seconds to grab a drink, but honestly, did that say top of descent? That's really weird. Why would that say top of descent? Is it because my flight is not that long? No, I think... No, that's not top of descent. That's Tango Charlie Delta. And let's see. Is it? Hang on, chat. Hang on. Somebody's around here, but for some reason I can't see anything other than the Zugol waypoint on my map. So it's okay. I'm pretty sure it's not top of descent, so I'm not going to worry about it. Once we get to this waypoint, I think heading is going to be 117. 117. So I'm going to go ahead. Oh, it's 119er. Here we go. 118 just to trim and follow the line a bit closer. And it looks like the candy cane line starts at 255 knots. But I'm at cruise. I'm at basically Mach 0.642. This is not a very fast plane. I like this plane for light ops, regional flights. I have taken it to altitudes about as high as this, but I remember doing more flights in FSX. I don't remember flying as high. Or you know what? I probably went even higher. So it's all right. Taking a little bit of pepper off the throttles to see if we can stay somewhere around 240 knots. Okay, so it might slow down a teensy bit, but hopefully I won't speed up to 255 at the time it takes to get me a cup of coffee. Folks, I'm going to step off the flight deck temporarily and come back, and we will talk about our flight, talk about the rest of the stream today, and see what we have planned, maybe even downrange. Sit tight, folks. Should be back in a jiff. Hello, everybody. I am back. I checked in with Mrs. DIGI to see how she was doing. I was helping with some stuff earlier today and just wanted to see how she was. I'm glad I checked because she's not feeling the best today. So I think I'm going to cut this stream after we land in Port Elizabeth. I think I've got like another 45 minutes before we do that anyway, but I'm going to have to scrub the additional flight or the trucking that I plan to do. I apologize in advance, but at the same time, you know, she's not feeling the best, so I'm happy to do what I can to take care of her and make the night more special. I appreciate you guys tuning in today, and I'm glad that you guys came along to say hello or just to lurk. I'm happy even for lurkers because they boost my algorithm, and we move forward together just through the sheer power of having people in my room. I want to say that I want to do a stream tomorrow, but that would be untrue because I have some things to take care of, and I'm also going to be meeting with some friends later tomorrow afternoon, and then starting my work week over again. I, to be honest, wasn't feeling very good towards the end of last week. So I kind of had a conversation and I decided I needed to make some changes. So, details aside and turbulence aside, sheesh, I am definitely not going to be available for a stream tomorrow, and I'm probably going to be limited time. If I do any streaming next week, it's probably going to be either again on a Saturday or it's probably going to be either late Friday night or something like that. But let me just put it this way. I am in a spot where I need to make some changes, so I plan on doing that and moving forward with those changes very soon. Hopefully, you are even better than I am and enjoying yourself this fine Saturday evening. I've got a cup of coffee on hand, and I'm going to double check the weather again for Port Elizabeth just to see what it says. Let's take a look. Port Elizabeth weather conditions are still okay, so this could just be a localized area of weather, which is what I'm hoping. Winds are 070 at 16 knots, but that was 2 hours and 34 minutes ago. Let's see. Well, as long as I don't run into issues with clouds impeding my view of the runway, and since I'm flying IFR anyway, not really going to worry about landing. So, that's simple enough. How much fuel do we have on board right now? We still have 1,579 pounds of fuel, so definitely enough to take care of ourselves for quite a little while. Do we have any wind information? Wind is coming in from the northeast at somewhere between 12 to 18 knots or greater. So we do have some turbulence, more than a little bit, less than a lot. And we're tracking fairly well with the magenta line, so I'm happy. I'll probably say hi to some folks on stream tonight on Twitch if I'm not doing stuff like playing retro games. I've recently gotten into playing with Amiga games like Test Drive and Test Drive 2. I am, if you could say, more than a little bit interested in retro. I bought a Commodore 64 Maxi, which is essentially a modern copy of what the old Commodore 64 bread box used to look like with the keys. And there was a Commodore 64 Mini that was released years ago. But while I liked it, I would have liked the idea of getting a actual sized keyboard. And that's what the Commodore 64 Maxi is or was. I picked one up, I want to say, I think sometime in the spring of 2021 or 2022, and I bought it for a reasonable price, a bit on the expensive side, but it was like 121 for the system and for a clicky, two button or like six button joystick. But I enjoyed it and I use it still occasionally. Well, unfortunately, it turns out that it's no longer being manufactured, so I want to enjoy it a little bit more now that I have one of the ones that's out there and the number is not going up. Now, is it a big problem? No, because, you know, that's not the only option. There are joysticks you can plug into, TVs or setups that have games built into the joystick itself. It's just like, the there's probably like a little PCB on the bottom of it, which has like 30 games or whatever. So if that's your option, don't worry. And I mean, the focus on retro right now is such that you can legitimately now have people restoring what 20, 30, 40-year-old systems and applying, better approaches, better technology to make them last even longer, which is superb, really. All right. Now, I think a little bit between the next waypoint and Oxet is when I'm going to begin my descent. I'm going to take a few seconds to review the approach. So let's go ahead and select an approach on the SimBrief or NavGraph charts page. I'm going to go ahead and choose. Oh, each of them uses the Papa Echo Victor transition, so that's fine. And what I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to come in directly to the ILS approach, which means I'm going to want to be at, where is it? I'm going to want to be around 2,300 to 2,000 feet before I intercept the glide path. So that works out. The go around or the missed approach altitude is going to be 2,000 feet, which lines up with what is it, the final approach fix or the initial approach fix for the ILS. So that works. And we're going to be kissing some clouds as we go over the bay here, but that's fine. So roughly 30,000 feet, and then essentially it's going to be about 100 nautical miles. But let me think about this. 50 nautical miles between Oxet and the actual airport or the VOR, which means this leg that I'm about to go into is going to be 112 nautical miles. So roughly 56 nautical miles in is about halfway. So probably somewhere around 60 nautical miles out from Oxet is when I'm going to start my descent since I'm at 31,000 feet. 30,000 feet divided by 300 is 100. So yeah, roughly 100 nautical miles. And since I need to be 2,000 feet on the ILS approach, 60 nautical miles away from Oxet is going to be when I want to start descending. It's going to seem and feel a little weird, but I'm going to do it anyway. So I will be paying attention to this for at least a little bit during the rest of the time for today's flight, and then we'll begin our descent. If you folks are feeling a little tired or run down, I hope and pray that you have a moment to rest tonight and to recuperate. I will most likely be doing that myself. It's gonna be what I'm hoping is gonna be a nice night tonight. Just to chill, drink some hot tea or whatever, make some dinner, and then wake up tomorrow, church, get some things done around the house, meet with some friends, and kick the week off. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be flying in South Africa tonight. This is not something that I would have anticipated doing, and I'm glad that it's going on. Oh, that's fantastic, man. Congratulations. I want to get back to doing that as well. I think there may be one or two more hurdles for me to clear before I can really focus on that. But I might mess around with a little bit of design tonight. Depends on how I feel and whether or not I've got anything else lined up. I might watch a movie with Mrs. Digi or, play some more retro games just to detune. You and I are in the tech world, so the the cool down from some busy weeks is can really kind of just like make you feel like, you know what, I don't feel like doing anything. And I think that's where I am right now. And if I'm being honest, I think it's enough for me to just sit down tonight and relax and then eventually get back into scenery development with renewed vigor and enjoyment. I might do some scenery development tonight if I get to a place where I can really just think things through. But if I if I'm not feeling it, it's not going to happen. I don't want to give up on scenery development. I sure don't. I feel like sometimes the answer is don't push it. Like like don't expect a lot out of yourself. And this isn't an insult. This isn't a kind of like, oh, well, you can't do that much stuff anyway, did you? It's more like sometimes you just don't have it. You don't have the motor, the gas in the tank to do stuff. And if that's where you are, if that's where anybody listening to this is, I get it. Now more than ever before, I've had an interesting and adventurous year, and it's shaped me in ways that I didn't expect. But at the same time, there are certain things that I want to do and certain things that I know I can no longer do. And I'm just making sure that I am appropriately calibrated for the next several months. Is there potential for stuff to get really busy or really, as they say, pear-shaped? Yes. But I have reached a point where I feel like in my life, there's no more wiggle room for allowing circumstances to affect me. I was literally physically ill this week. No, I'm not talking about stomach bug, and I'm really grateful to the Lord that it wasn't. And I'm not lying. Like I literally got some bad ways, and I was just like, is this a wake up call? Maybe. So, considering the extent to which I am content at the moment and happy to be flying and such, I don't want to push it. I don't want to think very hard about much stuff, so I'm not going to. Because I've discovered whenever I do that, the simple thing that happens is that I rob myself of any kind of physical peace in the moment. I'm trying to do God's job by worrying and trying to think about all the things that I can do better. And then not only is it affecting my ability to get work done, but it's also making me a bit of a crappy person to be around. And I don't want that anymore. So I want to do better. I really, really want to do better. My flight plan looks like it has a discontinuity. Let's fix that. Oh, oh, no, 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 no. It doesn't have a discontinuity. I just haven't activated my instrument approach. And since I have a general idea of what direction I'm supposed to go to get to the airport anyway, I'm not going to bug. Yeah, there's the ILS. Right. So, yeah, now I really understand descending around 60-ish nautical miles is what I want to do. So we're going to take this down to about 2,000 and begin descent around 60 nautical miles. Yes, and I'll be honest with you, SG. I was starting to get into a pattern where I thought I could just keep going. I thought I could just keep applying effort. I thought I could just fix my issues by just moving forward, doing what I needed to do, and just getting everything done. And that's just not possible. You get to a point where it's like literally it's like, dude, seriously? Chill. Chill your beans. Current ground speed is what? Can't tell, but I'm about to cross 60 nautical miles, so I will be descending, and I'm going to descend manually. So 1,000 feet for now. And where's my ground speed? Where's my ground speed? Ground speed, ground speed, ground speed. There we go. 367 knots. So 400 knots is 2,000 feet per minute. 300 is 1,500. So that's about 1,800 feet per minute. That'll be good. Excellent. So we are now in the descent phase of today's trip. It's kind of interesting. I looked at the flight time and I was like, oh, hour and a half block time. I'll be busy for a while. And look at that. We're already on descent into Port Elizabeth. It's kind of crazy. But yeah. And SG, don't even worry about it. If you ever want to have a chat with me about, you know, stepping through like work or just chilling and talking about scenery dev, a collab, whatever you want to do, I'm here for you. Send me a DM on Discord, reach out to me, whatever. If you want ideas or something, happy to help. I told you and I told a few other scenery devs or people, I desire legacy way more than profit. Yes, I want to do some stuff and make money off of it for sure, but happy to pitch some ideas your way if you're looking to get unstuck in one category or another. Privileged to be along with you for your journey, and very happy. I was very happy to buy your first scenery, and if things get better, I'll probably buy more than once you release them. But for me, I've got a few things right now, one or more project situations up in the air, and I would like to be in a spot where I could at least say, in part, that I'd be able to move on to X, Y, and Z in time. Yeah. Actually, I think there's one idea I'm going to put in flight this year, and I'm thinking about opening up, or not opening up a Patreon, but I already have a Ko-fi and a Buy Me a Coffee account. And the Buy Me a Coffee account has a membership plan that I haven't really put to use yet. I think I know how I'm going to do that. I just need to be in a place where I can actually think about it more and action on it better. So it's a to be continued, it's a stay tuned type deal. So we'll see what happens. And otherwise, yeah, I want to get back to better health. I want to get back to better habits overall. I want to get back to a place where I'm not putting in so much concentration in areas or in facets of my life that don't deserve that much of it. And that's all I'll say in public channels. Um, but that's my goal. Meanwhile, we have already navigated over half the journey from Cape down to Port Elizabeth, and I'm happy to have done this today, even if I haven't spent much time taking a look at the sites. This kind of like is another check on my digital passport. I think I've flown to Sri Lanka. I think I've flown to the Seychelles, or the Maldives. I have not gone to I've not gone into Madagascar, and I have intentions to fly up Africa, the eastern side of Africa, probably in a 787 or in a 747, flying out to, like, say, Kenya or Ethiopia, or even all the way up to, like, say, Saudi Arabia from there. I don't want to wait till, like, say, world flight to, go to places that I should have been visiting as of a while back. So on on the plan is probably to go back to Southeast Asia at some point. Definitely go back to Australia and go to places like the northern Japanese island. I think that is Hokkaido, and even go back to South Korea. Oh, little weather reset. And also, where else? Where else am I thinking? Like, probably Turkey, Israel, fly across the northern portion of Africa, and go back to Poland, Eastern Germany, and fly up to Estonia again. I flew down from from Finland to I think that was Estonia, wherever Riga is. But also, I have, I think, an overdue return from Keflavik back to Halifax, Canada, in P3D in the Quality Wings 787, which was a beautiful flight when I went out there. And I don't want to spend too much time flying because I think I would like to get back into the swing of things with scenery development. But again, one step at a time. I've gotten myself to a point where many times I feel like, oh, I'm supposed to be doing X, Y, and Z, da, da, da. We got to get stuff done. Why? Do your best. Do what you can. Do it with your whole heart. And know you can only do so much. Thing is, it's taken me a while to understand that. I'm sorry it has. But I've learned some lessons from it. Finish this coffee, starting to get tepid. I think soup's going to be on the agenda tonight. Soup and maybe some rice. And then after that, probably some chill entertainment. Maybe catching a Sim Caesar stream or tuning into Studio Canuck if he's on. I think he said he's going to be away this weekend because of some obligations and whatnot. But I also know he's going to be coming up on his break time sooner than you know. And I, for one, would relish the opportunity to go up to visit him in Edmonton if Mrs. DIGI and I had the chance to go. Pirla, good to see you, my friend, and welcome back to Maverick Mike. We are on approach into Port Elizabeth. We took off from Cape Town in South Africa. Port Elizabeth isn't exactly the other side of the heel of the country, but it's close. It's probably not that far away from East London, but this has been a kind of cool flight for me, a chance to detune and to catch up with some friends. Welcome aboard. Oh, you got it, man. Look. One of my favorite planes. It's pretty. Definitely. I definitely appreciate this. But yeah, good to see everybody here. Maverick Mike, Pierluck, SG, and all the folks that stopped by before and said hello, and everybody that's actually, lurking or just listening to me in the background. I am privileged to be a part of your day. So, since I'm pretty sure I'm on a heading bug and the autopilot's not going to take over for me right now, and because I'm still at 15,000 feet, I'm going to go ahead and arm the instrument approach for our arrival today. Let's go to procedure. Approach. Approach is already armed. Vectors. Radio altimeter looks like it's going to work. And we're going to go ahead and activate that now. So, here we are. We're going to go and probably stick to the flight plan that we have at the moment, because if we do, it's going to take me almost directly to the line, and then I think I can follow that down. Wow, Greenville. Very nice. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I get Greenville confused with Greenboro in North Carolina, but Greenville is definitely a place. Yeah. I would also like to go to Myrtle Beach and go up the coast to Grand Strand. But yeah, the southern coast is nice. How fast am I going? Under 300 knots ground speed. We've got 1,500 feet per minute on descent. I like my chances. I like my profile. I think we're going to be just in time for the ILS approach. So I am not upset at all right now. Pure luck, I ran into a hiccup with the GPS not working for this flight, but I'm fairly sure it's either because of something that I did wrong, or it could actually be a genuine bug. But I'm not miffed about it in the slightest. I like flying this plane with a heading bug. It's easy to do, and I should still be able to use the ILS approach to get me down. Ooh, interesting indeed. Yeah, but hey, that's neat. Gotta say, the scenery down here in terms of satellite imagery is both kind of like chill and also interesting. I mean, this isn't the first time I've seen satellite scenery like this by the coastline, but this is the first time I've flown to Port Elizabeth in the sim ever. So I'm happy. Going a little faster than I want to. So let's go ahead and put our landing lights on before I forget. And also, just make sure that we are set for arrival. We've armed the ILS approach, and now I think we have oh, the course heading is not set. So since I'm on nav mode anyway, let's go ahead and double check ourselves. It is 111.1, which is what we have armed right now. Course heading is going to be 086. That's interesting. Is it not working? That's a little weird. The arrow isn't moving. I wonder if it's because it hasn't actually locked into the ILS. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I mean, we've got minus those clouds, essentially cav okay, so I can come in for an approach. Yeah, hopefully a fluke. Port Elizabeth, South Africa. You're right. Let me take a look at the charts. We are sub 10,000 feet. Let's get some more throttle. Port Elizabeth. Let's take a look at the info. Once we get down there, I am assuming we're probably going to be going to general aviation just before the main terminals. So if we do go long, we'll probably turn left at runway 17 and come back down Alpha. But I'm shooting for Alpha 3, which shouldn't be a problem, provided we come down with enough slow speed. So, not an issue. And there's a lot. Now, I'm a considerable ways out from the actual instrument approach, so it is going to be, it's probably not going to arm until I get pretty close to the actual ILS beam. I'm still out in the bay. I'm probably going to be turning to a heading of 086 very soon. I would presume so. And we're going all the way down to 2,000 feet. All right, so we've got landing lights on, nav strobe, panel is lit accordingly. Gen's battery's running, we should be pressurized, and cabin altitude is about 5,000 feet. We're not as pressurized as we were before. We should be fine. And yeah, I think we're okay. I'll leave the altitude set for 2,000 in case we have to go around. And if we do go around, then we're going to be, I think, turning right around and going right back to the initial approach fix. and doing a teardrop approach to get back on it. You can also do I think you can also do a hold over the Port Elizabeth VOR, but we are not that far up. And I think I'm going to be turning very soon, so I'm going to start turning slowly to intercept the ILS, even though I don't technically have to. We were going about 120. Let's go to 100 and slowly intercept the ILS. Okay, so we do have the instrument landing system, but for some reason I cannot choose what am I saying? I can't choose the course heading. So we're going to do this by eyeball, folks. All right, take care, P-Luck. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, vertical path. Let's stick with it. We are 088 degrees for the approach, and I think I've made out the runway right there. 86, and we should be able to keep coming down. Wow, what a nice approach today. So we're actually below the initial approach fix, but 5.6 DME is going to be 2,000 feet, which is where the beam begins. And then we should be fine. And I just tuned the altimeter, so that's my bad. Winds are slightly from the northeast still, so I'm being blown off course slightly. I need to kind of sort of pay attention. So I'm angling a little bit for a heading of 085, even though the course heading is 086. I just want to make sure that I don't get myself into a sticky situation. I want to tune the approach. I want to select the approach, but even if I push the course heading knob, right now it's not changing my course heading. So I am not sure if something's actually going on or if it's just a problem flying today. I'm also cross-referencing my map with my direction. I think that's it ahead, but I can't quite make it out. Oh, no. It's there. I see it now. I was looking over here. It's actually right in front of me. I'm a little bit, just a touch off. So let's go ahead and turn on to 087 and tune this approach in. So I'm going to go down to 1,000 feet. And then once we get to 1,000 feet, I should be able to make out the runway and get all the way down. Coastline and runway. So I tell you what, let's go ahead and tweak some more. Current heading is 091. Let's start slowing down. No faster way to slow down than to put down your landing gear. And you know what? My aircraft. Fully idle. It feels like we're really low, but I'm going to go ahead and take over at this point and just make sure that I am trimming for best approach possible. I have made out the runway. I'll take flaps 1, Now I think I'm really under the glide path, but again, we're coming in visually and I'm just using the controls and my gamepad to get us down. Also, it looks like a tower of some kind that we're flying over, which is kind of neat. I will take flaps 2. Okay, gear is down 3 greens. Quick peek. Gear is indeed down. I'm looking at more of a trapezoid than a runway, so let's add some more speed. And let's follow the flight director down. Give me some more juice, please. 500, and eventually we will intercept the rest of the ILS. I'm not worried about it. Don't know why the flight director is still so high up, but I guess I should have been higher on the glide. I see 4 red lights, so yeah. I've got flaps 2, so I have enough lift. I mean, I'm coming down gently, but I've been manual for a little while, so I'm not worried about it. We'll take heading mode off. Winds are still just off the nose, blowing us over to the left. And now I'm just going to go ahead and give it a little bit of forward pressure, also trimming. Don't have rudder pedals, so you'll excuse my incredibly erratic approach. But now I think we're good. And now I'm going to go ahead and cut power. A little bit of back pressure. Not that much, not that much. And, oop, floated, ballooned a bit. There we go, and down. Missed my turn, but that's okay. Welcome down, everybody. Lap should be coming up. And welcome down to Port Elizabeth. Local time is, I don't know what PM. Yeah. Some kind of a fluke bug or problem that I've been having with the system not working. Studio Canuck coming through 38 months. Unbelievable. My friend, thank you so much for stopping by today. We just arrived into Port Elizabeth after roughly, I think, about an hour's worth of flight time. Probably. I overshot my exit, but that's fine. Flying with the gamepad because lazy. And this plane is such a treat to work with. It's actually cool to fly and manually trim. So I'm happy. I had a nice flight down, and yeah, man, had a chance to catch up with Chad. Good to see you, friend. I forget. Did you say you will or will not be streaming tonight? Because I tend to forget these things. If not, I get it. Otherwise, I will try to stop in and say hello. But good to have you, friend. And so many folks here that I've said hi to that are actual streamers themselves. Studio Canuck is obviously one of them. and grateful for the ability to see you. And okay, you'll be on tonight. Great, great, super. Let's take the flight director off, and same thing with the yaw damper, and turn off the landing lights, and strobe can come off too. Okay, so I'm happy. If I take a look at the chart, I can go past this place to the ramp parking further down the way, and then we'll go ahead, settle in, and we will park up for the night. It's almost 6:30. Wow, this day is going by so quick. I also, excuse me, I'm also not taking into account that there's more and more daylight. So I'm like, oh, it's only like 4:30 right now. Nope. It was 4:30 about 2 hours ago. So there we go. Just goes to show you. Had a great time flying tonight. I don't know when my next flight on stream will be. I don't know if it's going to be Friday night, this coming Friday. I don't know if it's going to be Saturday again. I don't know if I'm going to be taking a slight break to do other things or streaming other things like Truck Sim. I was going to do a Truck Sim drive today after this flight, but at the same time, Mrs. Digi's not feeling well. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of her and rest a bit. Probably, catch some folks on stream while chilling, while having dinner, and then we will decide, I will decide what the rest of the evening is going to look like and relax. Default buildings here at Port Elizabeth, but honestly, just happy to be on the ground. It was a nice trek from Cape Town, and honestly, this was beautiful. I'll take a quick peek around the city, and we'll see what it looks like out here. But let's just take a quick peek, see if the light came off. It did come off. And we'll park up here and pretend like we're going to get ourselves prepped and disembarked. So let me go ahead and park up. Hit F1, hit the parking brake button, and that's it, ladies and gents. We are down. So let's go ahead and stop the engines. Ignition's off. Fuel pumps can come off since they're not going to be doing their thing. And back signs can come off. Hydraulic pumps off. ADRs AOA. Windshield off. Vent the pressure back to normal atmospheres. And we have bus tie to open. Supply control to crew only. Cut out. We should be depressurized at this point. And now I can turn off the gens. I can make sure all these lights are off, including the panel. And I can turn off the batteries. And blammo, we have a shutdown aircraft. Give me chocks, covers, and control lock, which looks funny when you don't have the actual yoke there. And no GPU is required. So, there we go, folks. We're down. We're down and parked. And you passengers don't have to go home, but you got to get out of my airplane. So, I'm happy to be down on the ground at Port Elizabeth. Let's do a little bit of a drone flight over the area and go ahead and bid you guys a fond farewell and a nice evening. So let's take a look at the city, see what it looks like. Now let's go. Oh wait, not full zoom, 50. Let's reset position. Drone speed, full speed. Boom, let's go. Okay, so this is Port Elizabeth. I have never been here. So we got a runway that we just came in on. One runway, actually two runways. And this, I believe, is the terminal. And not bad, not bad. This is what an hour's worth of flying from Cape Town will get you. It kind of looks nice. Even with default buildings, there's plenty of building archetypes available. Although I would venture to guess the default archetypes probably don't shine the beauty of this gem called Port Elizabeth that I see. So not going to worry about that too much. The shoreline looks nice though. This looks lovely. Yeah, man. If I was doing this full time, I'd be tempted to do a scenery package for this place to make this look more nice, or at least try to plug in some generic equivalents of the actual you know, buildings or whatnot. But that's just me talking, consuming some hot air. Looks like a water cleaning plant, and I'm guessing football slash rugby. So I think this is a university. I think, at least it looks like one, or a corporate campus. I'm guessing it's a university. And yeah, man, look at how beautiful this whole area is. It's wonderful. It's a wonder I don't spend more time in South Africa because the vistas are beautiful. It's like a more stretched out version of a more stretched out and way more open version of Italy. But Italy has its stretches. Italy definitely has its stretches. Oh, oh, and we have a multi-tier interchange here. Very nice, very nice. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. So limited access highway along the coast. This is good. This is good. I don't think there's any. I don't think. Where'd I put the airport? There. I don't think there's any photogrammetry for this area. I don't have mine turned off. Or maybe there is. It doesn't look like it. No, no, there isn't. That's fine. That's fine. Happy to have made the flight. Happy to be chilling. I'll probably take some time off, turn the computer off, make dinner, come sit back down. Maybe be back around 8, 8:30, 9 o'clock after I take care of cooking some food and taking care of the pets. And then we'll see what happens. Then we'll see what happens for sure. Folks, it's been a privilege hanging out with you guys tonight. I am privileged to be here and to spend time with you. And I don't think there's much else to do. From the flight deck of November 820 Romeo Bravo, I think I'm just going to go ahead and head out at this point. Really, really, really appreciate seeing you guys. And I hope you all have a great night. Like I always like to say at the end of my streams, if you don't have true peace, you want the Prince of Peace. And that is Jesus Christ, the Lord of Lords and the King of Kings and the Savior of my soul. He is the reason why I'm still clicking, and his blessings are numerous. Take care, my friends. I will probably see you guys around the Twitchverse. Until then, I'll see ya.